Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. If you enjoy crypto news, make sure you press that subscribe button as we provide quality crypto news that is unbiased every single day. And today we have some talks about XRP generally, about what just happened to the crypto market going into South Korea, going over into China, going over into Elon Musk. But generally speaking, we have a ton of crypto news to cover today, so I recommend you guys to sit tight and enjoy the show. So first thing I want to show you all is Brad Garlinghouse's little talk from a couple of months ago over on Fox, which I think was rather peculiar, as he's being asked a question on whether or not the Gary Gensler whatever meetings are something like peculiar or worrisome to him, and the answer I think is very interesting that he gives.
Worrisome. I mean, so first of all, one of the things you said, which I think is accurate, but also part of the confusion is Gensler's on video in 2018 also saying he thought XRP wasn't a security.
Oh, so interesting.
And one of the beautiful things about what's happening in the Twitterverse is people are finding these clips that are actually contradictions to what they might have said, and it gets to the heart of the lack of clarity. If the now chair of the SEC in 2018 was saying two different things, how can we, Ripple, how can I individually know what the SEC might think in the future? So, look, I believe very strongly that we will get to a good place here. I think it's clear that on Capitol Hill, they're paying more attention to this, frankly, partly because of your reporting. And I think that also is good for the whole industry. If we get into something, Gensler has also called out, hey, we need more clarity by saying that we need legislation, but he's saying it's clear there's a contradiction there. I think it looks like Capitol Hill is kind of leaning in a little bit now, which is, I think, a very
really? So you think?
And so I want to kind of keep it at that because the essence, I think, is quite clear. At the end of the day here, guys, one of the things which he states a little bit earlier in this interview is that they're fighting for the entire crypto space and that so many things which are happening right now are just strange. Why did they file it the last day? Why was it hurried? And of course, as I often talk about on this channel, why XRP and why was Ethereum left alone? But that's a discussion for another day. At the end of the day, guys, I want to stay as unbiased as possible while giving you guys my honest opinion on the side. But I want you to kind of decide this for yourself, as I obviously will tell you whether or not I think it's good or bad, but objectively, not subjectively based on my own coin holdings or whatnot. Told you guys before, right? If I see Ripple doing something bad, I'll report on it. If I see Ripple doing something good, I'll report on it. And it doesn't matter how many coins I have. So please stop thinking I'm just pumping my coins. I saw somebody say that in the comment section. If that were the case, I probably would be talking about a lot more very, very small cap coins. Having said that, what I think is going on in the cryptoverse right now, honest talk, is Evergrande. Yes, guys, every single time we see some Evergrande news on the web, about a day later, the crypto market crashes just a little bit. And right now, again, I told you all yesterday, hey, we got some bad Evergrande news. It's keeping to pop up basically a lot of times. And what happens a couple of days later or a couple of hours later? Boom, things start falling. So I can quickly give you guys a little overview here, or I guess you can go on for yourself. My search engine is a little bit messed up. I wanted to say we're seeing on Reuters, unfortunately, 12 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 18 hours ago, China Evergrande shares suspended amid reports of demolition order. Evergrande suspends trading of its shares amid reports of potential demolition of its mega island project. China Evergrande gets building demolition order, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of people are basically wondering over the last couple of days, even 2 days ago on the New York Times, how many freaking times can Evergrande default? And why does it keep happening time and time again? What's going on with all of that? It is vague, it is strange, but I think obviously that it has some sort of effect on the crypto market. Because even though literally it shouldn't, as we don't even know if there are connections between USDT and this, but every single time we do see some bad news, it does reflect in the crypto market, which is why I'm right now concluding that yes, it is China yet again. Just my own thoughts. Again, it can't be false, but you guys hopefully get my reasoning behind it this time around. I've actually done my own little study here without really proven records, I guess. But that has shown that every single time we see some bad Evergrande news, about a day later, 1 to 2 days later, we see a pretty significant crash in the crypto markets. And I already told you guys 2 times before this that if we see it happen once more, I'll confirm it. And that confirmation was the last time that it happened. Right now is, again, one of another. after we already confirmed it. So for me, it's clear as could be. All right, having said that, South Korea, presidential candidate to accept crypto donations for his campaign. A South Korean president candidate will be accepting crypto donations for his 2022 campaign. He will issue NFTs to donors as recipients, which is a very smart marketing scheme. And I can't really say anything more than that, except for a lot of people over in South Korea, they like crypto, or at least they're knowing of crypto. And so this could be a really big, I don't know how to call it, thing for them. We shall see how this goes on in the near future. But it's a good idea, or at least a good starting point, I guess, for some heavy adoption over in South Korea. If even the president, eventually, I don't know what you call it, candidate, is going to win, that would be amazing stuff if you guys get my drift. Having said that, guys, before we move on, make sure you press that like button on this video if you are enjoying the daily crypto news. I have to keep sharing that every here and there because I just know, usually if I'm watching a video, I never press the like button. But just understand, guys, that it helps the video perform a lot better. So even if you're thinking your like won't matter, it does matter. Please help out, helps the channel grow. All right, then the Daily Hold shared this article. Let's check it out. Here's why Bitcoin is likely already bottomed, according to crypto analyst Benjamin Cowen. One of the things I want to quickly make clear to you is that whenever you're seeing an article like this, no, you're not getting bamboozled, but you're getting one side of the story. As I've said before, there's no person in this entire earth that I can think of right now that can tell with great certainty that we've actually bottomed out for the entire future or anything like that. What we saw right now, for example, for Bitcoin is, as I described before, a nice little W pattern, a nice little double bottom for Bitcoin. But what does that mean? Well, absolutely nothing if we get some sort of crazy announcement a couple of days afterwards where Apple, for example, gets bearish or this or that or this or that. Right now, we're still, I guess, luckily, depending on how you view it, within double bottom territory of still basically hovering around that area. But you might actually say that our double bottom has been invalidated, as he said that yesterday, the 2nd of January. Day afterwards, we fell right back down and we actually went below a couple of our previous levels. And you might call this the true double bottom, but I would call it below our previous bottom, making a new lower low, which is quote unquote bearish. And that's, I think, also why the majority of people over on Twitter were so negative right now, mostly due to these events right here. Again, my own opinion, right? I'm not calling this out for facts. I'm just saying whenever you see an article like this, think about it a little bit more critically, as we can bottom, but we can indeed just also break through. So what exactly can you do with this information? It's hard to say. All right, then Elon Musk. Cryptocurrency fixes the error in money. Long story short, is the truth. One of the main reasons why a lot of people like me go for crypto is obviously because there's a couple of negative sides to actual quote-unquote money. With fiat, one of the things which I mostly see is the problem of, hey, I have fiat in my bank, but if the bank doesn't like that, they can take it away. This fiat will always be backed by the central government, so if anything happens to them, my money is screwed. They can always stop anything in this entire process. As well, they have all the control. I basically have nothing. And as Edward Snowden and a lot of those guys say, right, you keep working, but you own less and less and less. What I kind of sometimes think about in that little supply of things is, well, there's inflation constantly. Every money you've had in the past will become worth less and less and less over time, whilst at the same exact time, every single transaction you do is going to basically get taxed over, and it's basically going to be given back to the pool. But at the end of the day, there's also going to be more euros or dollars or whatever coming into it. So it's basically becoming less valuable. So the next time you have to pay even more, and then the next time you have to pay even more. But then the money you had saved up basically that's not being taxed again. Well, in the Netherlands it is, for example, because you have the quote unquote wealth tax. So every single year you have to pay as well for that. It's like you can kind of scratch your head about it as to how much money you're basically losing every single year due to devaluation. And from a certain perspective, cryptocurrency fixes it. Not, of course, the entire taxation problem, but mostly the rest of the circle, except for Ethereum, which, of course, is way too expensive right now to be used. And as I said before, as a store of value, crypto is juicy, but as a value, or I guess a transferring money around the world, it's not yet good. I think XRP is a lot better than Bitcoin or Ether. Have you tried transacting on ETH? I've paid $100 for gas fees, like literally today, I think. It's been crazy, and I had to do 3 transactions. I think it was like $50, $60, and $100 or so. It is crazy, guys. Then, this game changer model could help AVAX outperform in 2022. A little bit earlier, I was actually talking about Cardano. A little bit earlier, I was talking about VeChain. Well, shouldn't forget about AVAX too much. They're calling out for a snowball effect. Cowen used a few tweets to discuss the significance of Avalanche and predict its performance this year. He noted that the importance of Avalanche's subnets to help Ethereum scale, and said compared to Polkadot, Cardano, Polygon, etc., it has the clearest path to scaling for any EVM-based major asset right now, and I do think the subnet model is a game changer. About AVAX's price performance, he predicted, AVAX had its breakout earlier than I expected, and so I was more on the fence and thought it may be hard for it to continue on an outperformance. But honestly, if you put it in a basket with other layer ones, I think it will still outperform. In fact, the analyst also suggested that if Avalanche continues to innovate with the help of its subnets, AVAX will continue to outperform in 2022. And to just kind of add my own words to that, AVAX has really gone on a detriment, or I guess an insane rally throughout 2021. And the reason for it going amazing in 2022 is because all the fundamentals are there. It's a good crypto in almost every shape or form. And since they keep doing well, why would they stop on that course, right? I told you guys before, I think AVAX and Luna are basically going to go on the same course. But I guess right now, in the midst of things, Polkadot has also come into that little battle. And the battle is for what crypto is going to go to the 50, or in my own opinion, $60 billion market cap first. Right now, it's looking like Luna is going to beat that, but it's going to be a tight battle. I think it's going to be fun to watch this unfold. Then, billionaires are embracing crypto. We've talked about this way too many times over on the channel, but they're embracing crypto in case money goes to that. And it's kind of on the same fence as Elon Musk, where crypto just fixes so many issues, and there's an inherent fear that a lot of these guys have of just stacking up a certain currency your entire life, knowing that it will keep becoming more and more and more worthless as time goes on. The negative side to crypto in that sense is that you can always have this fear of it becoming completely worthless. It will never go away, but it can become, pretty worthless, where the fiat, I'm not really too sure about the complete fiat crash just quite yet. I guess the chances of a fiat crash versus a crypto demolition are on par, my own thoughts, over longer term. But I do, from a certain perspective, I guess, still bias towards cryptocurrency myself, in the sense that there's a bigger chance of crypto completely falling on the short term rather than the fiats. Longer term, I think the fiats are going to fall crazier than crypto. If you guys get my drift of saying, what is safest? I'm going to say fiat for right now. Short term. What is safest long term? I would say crypto. Because I do believe in the crypto standard. I do believe cryptocurrency will be the main thing eventually. And I don't think the dollar and the euro are actually going to survive for too long. But it could still take a decade or two, for example. And in that little time span, crypto can have crashed like several times. So if you guys get my drift, the dollar and euro will most likely keep devaluing, and it will kind of go harder as time moves on over the next couple of years. While crypto will most likely have a big ups and downs, but generally speaking will be worth more over longer periods of time. From that perspective, though, I would find the most logical approach to this to diversify, as even I have money in fiat. You never know what crypto is going to do, and even though I think it's the future, you can't really pay everything with fiat with crypto just quite yet. You sometimes do need it, and it's also like a little bit of a backup measure of what if everything, boom, goes out by night? What if, right? Well, I still got to get some food tomorrow, I can't have 100%. That's why I have about 95% of my money in crypto. I have 5% in fiat just to be sure. All right, then actually, before I move on, make sure you check out Kasta, by the way, guys. I've told you guys about this a couple of times by now, but still, let me rephrase it again. So what Kasta basically is a token launching over on Bybit, on the Bybit Launchpad. We covered every single token that launched on here, and every single one of them has been completely worth it. As far as I now know, guys, Kasta is an instant crypto payment for free. Basically, if you want to transfer some money to your friend after you, for example, had lunch, they're going to make it so it's completely instant and free to send crypto around to one another. And I actually asked them, okay, why crypto? Why not just some fiat currency? And he said that's the entire point of getting crypto main adoption. And they have a very nice feature of you being able to choose what exactly you want to get paid in. And I talked about all of that over in an interview over on my channel, which you might actually want to check out. It was really freaking interesting. It's over there. Then moving on, because again, you can buy that over on Bybit. I also make a tutorial on how to actually buy it. I think it's a day ago or so. You might also want to check that out. I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be a cool crypto. Not financial advice, but I think it's going to do really well. Exchange will ratio suggests Bitcoin dump incoming. We often get this warning as well. I see this warning about once a week, maybe twice a week. Not really the truth, nor can we really deduct anything from this. It's not a one-to-one, so it says here's a chart that shows the trend in BTC exchange will ratio over the past few months. Once more, you can't really deduct too much from this. As I've said 1,000 times before, the exchange will ratio is something that people made up and they think is really relevant. I don't believe so. But okay, let's quickly go over it anyway. Bitcoin whales now account for 90% of inflow to exchanges. As pointed out by Crypto Quant Post, the exchange whale ratio has risen above 0.9, implying that dumping may be going on in the market. The exchange whale ratio is an indicator that measures the ratio between the total Bitcoin amount of top 10 transactions to exchanges and total inflows. In simpler terms, the metric tells us how the 10 largest transactions to exchanges compare with the total amount of coins moving to exchanges. When the indicator has values lower than 85, 0.85, it means that 10 large transactions to exchanges, which are assumed to belong to whales, make up for less than 85% of the total Bitcoin inflow amount. Such values have been historically healthy for the market. On the other hand, when the metric reaches high values, it implies the top 10 transactions make up for most of the inflows to exchanges. And investors usually move their Bitcoin to exchanges for selling pressures, so this trend may show that whales are currently dumping as they are moving vast amounts of coins to exchanges. So one of the difficult things that I'm not exactly sure how they prevent it for is that these are not exchange wallets. Let's say that the 10 biggest transactions, right, are just the exchange themselves moving a lot of money, or one individual messing around with your little indicator. Yeah, it gives you a completely different narrative, which again can be done by one individual. Give you a completely different narrative, as it's only the top 10 transactions, or at least the top 10 transactions from whales. So let's say I have a $400 million wallet right now, for example. I send some crazy amount, or at least even a small amount, from a Bitcoin account that has a lot of money in it, because they're talking about the whales, not about the exact inflow, I think. Is the ratio between the total amount of Bitcoin of top 10 transactions to exchanges and the total inflows. I guess no, it is about the total amount. So if I for example send $400 million to an exchange right now, this ratio will go completely crazy because it's a whale wallet, and all of a sudden havoc is breached, even though I might have not actually done anything. Okay, moving on though, because I want to kind of go on a little bit with all the news I have here before we are running out of time. $87 billion. By the way, make sure you press the like button if you enjoy the timestamps. I put a lot of freaking effort into those things. $87 billion Italian bank to add Bitcoin trading. Banca Generali would reportedly enable its over 300,000 customers to buy and sell Bitcoin early this year in a native integration with Conio. Nice. $87 billion in asset would reportedly integrate Bitcoin services onto its platform early this year through a partnership with Bitcoin company Conio. Very, very nice. Then we have Matt Damon ripped for ad comparing crypto trading to history's greatest explorers. I don't think it's actually a bad comparison in the sense that they're quote-unquote pioneers. At least that's the way that the world phrases them, right? And right now, if you're using crypto, you're basically some of the earlier adopters in the sense of how those guys found something quote-unquote early, right? What your opinion is on that thing, guys, don't put it in the comments down below. It's a completely different debate. I'm just trying to say that's clearly the narrative that they wanted to put at. And so can you really blame him for them doing that? Not necessarily. However, I saw this. One of the guys is asking, is he not rich already? And another one is saying this. I can just not stop laughing that Matt Damon's pitch for crypto is be like a brave explorer, invest your life savings into crypto. This is the same pitch my buddy in 6th grade used to get me to dive from a railroad trestle into the river. And another one was my favorite 2021 theater experience was a double feature of Cronenberg's The Fly Entertain. A close second was when they showed that Matt Damon commercial before House of Gucci, and when it was revealed to be about crypto, the entire theater bust out laughing. Another one was here. I know, let's not show that. I know Matt Damon got paid for the crypto ad, but how to make it creative? Have him in full Jason Bourne mode, dodging bad guys in Moscow. He goes into a safe deposit box room to pick up some money, fresh passport, and when he opens the box, it's chock full of crypto. I'm not exactly sure why that would be so fun for an ad. My point being, I think it was a pretty good ad because it got a lot of people's attention, so they did a good job. And also, at the end of the day, this is just the start of it all. People are going to become way more comfortable about crypto and about crypto ads in the near future. Right now, it's just like a taboo on top of it because, of course, it's hard to distinguish between good and bad actors. But generally speaking, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we're starting to see some massive expansion, that Crypto.com is going for some massive campaigns as well. Ultimately, I'm pretty excited for the near future in regards to, I guess, those ads for, again, crypto adoption, not necessarily for the promotion of exchanges. And last but not least, I guess I also want to quickly share again, I want to plug it, that I have a funny little Instagram that you guys might want to check out. I post memes on there every single day. Might do some other fun stuff on there, like, I don't know, show you some I actually have no idea what I'm going to show. What else? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. I don't know what to show you. Just follow me over on Instagram. If you're not, it's a big problem, all right? I'll buzz down your door maybe in my fantasy.